Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode on Learning English. I'm John Parker, a teacher from New York, USA. And with me today is my wonderful co-host, Sara Ahmed, from Egypt.
Hello everyone. I'm Sara Ahmed, an educational consultant here in Cairo, Egypt. Today, we'll be talking about an interesting country, Canada.
That's right. We'll be discussing Canada, its culture, history, and much more. Let's dive into our questions, Sara. Are you ready?
Yes, John. Let's start.
So, Sara, what do you think of Canada?
Well, John, I think Canada is a beautiful country. It's known for its friendly people and amazing nature. What about you? What kind of country do you think Canada is?
Canada is definitely a big and peaceful country. It's also very multicultural, with people from all over the world living there. And it's important on the world stage. It has a great reputation for being peaceful and welcoming.
I agree. Canada is known for helping other countries and playing a big role in the United Nations. But I wonder, John, how different are Canadians from Americans?
That's a good question. I think Canadians are similar to Americans in some ways, but they are more polite and sometimes a bit quieter. What do you think?
Yes, I've heard that too. Canadians are known for saying sorry a lot. I think they also have a different way of seeing the world.
Sara, do you know much about Canadian history?
Not too much, but I know Canada was part of the British Empire. It became independent in 1867, right?
Exactly. And before that, it was home to many indigenous peoples for thousands of years. They have a rich history and culture. What about you? What images come to your mind when you hear Canada?
For me, it's the snow and big forests. Also, the maple leaf, it's the symbol of Canada. What about you, John?
Yes, the same. And don't forget the famous Niagara Falls. It's one of the biggest waterfalls in the world. Speaking of the outdoors, Canada's geography is amazing. Do you know much about it?
I know it's the second largest country in the world, after Russia. It has mountains, forests, and lakes. It must be beautiful to visit.
That's right. So, Sara, what are some differences between Canada and the USA?
Well, I think Canada is a bit more relaxed. The lifestyle is slower, and people enjoy nature more. In the USA, life can be faster and more focused on work. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Also, Canada is famous for its healthcare system. It's free for everyone, which is very different from the US. What else is Canada famous for?
Canada is known for ice hockey, maple syrup, and of course, Tim Hortons coffee. Many people also love Canadian music and artists like Justin Bieber and Drake. What do you think, John?
Definitely. And, Sara, do you think Canada is the kind of country you'd like to live in?
Oh, yes. I think I'd love living in Canada. The peaceful environment and the mix of cultures are very attractive. What about you?
I would enjoy it too. It's a great place to raise a family. The education system is also very strong. I think I'd feel at home there.
John, if you could spend 6 months in Canada, what would you like to do?
I'd love to explore the cities like Toronto and Vancouver, but I'd also spend a lot of time hiking and visiting the national parks. And you, Sara?
I think I'd like to learn more about Canada's Indigenous peoples and their history. I'd also love to visit museums and learn more about Canadian culture.
That sounds wonderful. Before we finish, what do you think are the advantages of being Canadian?
I think being Canadian means you live in a peaceful country with many opportunities. It's also a place that values equality and diversity. What about you?
I agree. Plus, Canadians have access to great healthcare and education. It's a very safe and welcoming country. Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you, everyone. We hope you learned something new about Canada.
And a special thanks to you, Sarah, for this wonderful discussion.
Thank you, John. It was great talking to you. See you all in the next episode.
Goodbye.